Welcome to XQ. Today I'm going to do a walkthrough of how to integrate XQ's Vault solution with NextCloud. So NextCloud being the world's most widely adopted self-hosted storage solution provider. You can utilize XQ on top of that to encrypt all of your data within your NextCloud storage solution. So NextCloud can be hosted within any cloud environment. Here I'll do an example of AWS. You can also do this as Azure, and alternatively you can do this on bare metal. So what I have here is a NextCloud server hosted on an AWS EC2 instance. You can see that I'm currently SSH into this EC2 instance on the top left corner here. I have NextCloud open through the web URL directly on the right. And then on the bottom left corner, I have my local file system that's accessing my NextCloud instance. This is done through using NextCloud's client-side application. So you'll notice that I have that open here. So this will sync up data from this local file system folder directly into NextCloud. Additionally, I have my NextCloud instance mounted to an S3 bucket. So I'll open that folder here. You'll notice that I have my Trine folder, and this is actually an S3 bucket. So if I go, for example, here into my S3 bucket, you'll notice that it has the Trine folder here. Within that, I have two additional folders, and similarly with NextCloud. I did this through mounting it utilizing S3FS. You can do this through a number of other means. S3FS is pretty simple to set up. You can just install it directly within your instance itself, and then set up kind of a mount path within your fstab file that you'll see here. So this will mount your S3 bucket directly to a folder of your choice, and this can actually utilize your IAM role that you have attached to the instance. So you'll notice that I also have the bucket here and kind of a local storage solution here. In order to attach this to NextCloud, you can simply go into your NextCloud. You'll have to install an app. So within the apps, you have your external storage support. Just make sure you enable this. And then you'll have to go into your administrative settings here, and then open the sidebar here in external storage. And then you can set up your local path. So set up your external storage to local path, and then set up the path on the actual instance itself, which mine is /bucket. This will then mount that directly within NextCloud. So you'll have your your S3 bucket that I have here, and then I have my S3. In order to utilize XQ in combination with this, you can simply open XQ on the client side here, like I have my window. Connect a local folder. So this will open a window that looks like this, and then select that folder. You can go into your NextCloud and then connect a folder of your choice. So here I'm going to go into my S3, and then let's do the hello folder within my nested folder. The moment I actually connect this, it'll spin up kind of the virtual file system of XQ, which will encrypt and decrypt data going into this drive. So for example, I'm going to upload a number of files here. So I'll do all of these, and then I'll pop these into here. What XQ will do is it'll utilize local tools directly on your device itself, encrypt all of this data going into NextCloud. NextCloud will handle the storage of that data directly within your S3 bucket. So here, if I close all of this now and then go into my hello, you'll notice that these files now appear here. One thing you'll notice is these files have this kind of .xqf extension, and this just helps identify that they are encrypted using XQ. And then all of this is also done within here. So if I go within hello, you'll notice all of these encrypted files directly within the S3 bucket. So this is the first way to integrate XQ within NextCloud. This gives you one of the lowest cost storage solutions where you're encrypting data on the client side and then storing it within a target destination. And all of this will be logged in XQ's portal. So here within the portal itself, you can go in the communication logs, drill down into each of these individual files. So for example, all this data that I just uploaded here, you can see exactly who encrypted it, where, what time, what location, etc. Additionally to that, you have the same abilities to manage policies around that data, so you can geo-restrict access to any of these files or anything that you want to do there, as well as just completely revoke access to specific data, to specific users, by going into the individual groups and removing those people, or going into individual files and just simply revoking access. Now I'm going to go into the second option. So the second option being connecting XQ vol product directly on the server side. So here I just disconnected it on the client side. So what I have here on my actual instance itself is I have XQ's binary, which you'll see here, as well as kind of the config file necessary for the binary. Then what I've done is I've actually run XQ's binary with that config file. And what that did is it created an XQ bucket folder, which in here, any data going into this folder will actually output that information into a target destination. So now if I utilize NextCloud, for example, in here, and then I go into that same folder, so the bucket XQ folder, and then I want to upload a file. So here I'll do an upload file. I'll do my instructions.txt, for example. It'll upload that file directly within my server, so within my NextCloud server, where NextCloud will encrypt that data and then store it within an S3 bucket. So this is currently connected to my other directory. So if I go back, I go into my demonstration, you'll notice that that instructions.txt.xuf is actually stored encrypted within the target storage location. So what actually happened there is I uploaded all of that data client side, and then that data then got encrypted server side, so on the NextCloud instance, and then it was stored within the target destination, which is my S3 bucket. Ideally, you want to do the first option, so you want to utilize Vault client side in order to encrypt all of your data client side, and then push that encrypted data into NextCloud. This is the most optimal solution. You can also do that same kind of server-side encryption through the client-side application. So for example here, if I go into my bucket XQ here, and then I want to upload something in here, so I'll upload, let's say, my HR revoked file. My client-side application of NextCloud will then sync it to the server. As I mentioned, this current drive, the bucket XQ folder, is pointing towards my virtual file system drive of XQ, and so all of this data is getting encrypted server side and then kind of being pushed into this S3 location, where you'll notice these two files are here stored in S3.